How do you do? The FBI. You have a couple minutes? Like talking? Not a couple minutes. Your name is Beckwith? Beckwith, right?
NBC News cameras carry Evers' impassioned speech nationwide. 3 weeks later, a gunman shoots him in the back. As a World War II veteran, Evers is buried with full military honors at Arlington National Cemetery. His funeral airs on national television. Over 3,000 mourners come to pay their respects. His brother Charles, a fellow activist, comforts his distraught widow Merle and their 2 young children Daryl and Rena. Former U.S. Marine and white supremacist Byron Della Beckwith is arrested just days after Evers' funeral, smiling for the camera. He's twice tried by an all-white jury. Both trials end in a hung jury. It's not until 1994 that he's eventually found guilty.
Well, it was a highly charged kind of meeting. The perimeters were guarded by Klansmen with high-powered rifles, and the motivational or inspirational or special speaker of the night was Beckwith. And he made a statement something like, killing didn't cause me very much problems. I didn't go through any more problems than your wives go through to have babies for you.
When he said killing that, who did you think he was talking about?
I thought he was talking about Medgar Evers, and that's why he was there. He was a hero to the Klan because the Klan at least believed that he did it.
Was there anyone in that audience who thought he was talking about anybody other than Medgar Evers?
No, I wouldn't think so.
When the crowd heard that he was essentially boasting about how easy it was to kill Medgar Evers, how did the crowd react?
Lots of amens. They were in agreement that we ought to be more involved in killing.
Later that night, Dennis says he reported Beckwith's admission of murder to FBI agents.
And your name is Fulton. Right. Which, New York. New York. There's only one. Only one here.
Is probably what you assumed we came for, to obtain any information you want to give us about the Muslims.
I didn't assume anything.
No. That's a very general statement on my part, but as you know, we follow the activities of the Muslims as best we can. But we're always looking for new avenues of information, and who better than than the head of the Muslims. At least up to a month ago or something like that.
You're wondering how's your suspension status? No one knows but Mr. Muhammad. You have to ask him. You're still in the status of now. I mean, you're not working now, or teaching now at all. Well, I'm still under the suspension. That's what I meant.
That's a temporary thing, as far as we know.
He's the only one who can give out any information.
Yeah.
I couldn't say anything beyond what he has said.
Yeah, I think he has said that it's a temporary suspension. I'll be frank with you, one of the reasons we picked this particular time to contact is because of this suspension.
The suspension was brought about by my own doing.
Yeah, exactly. But who knows what was in your mind when you did receive the suspension. In other words, bitterness could have entered into it. It would not be illogical for someone to have spent so many years doing something then be suspended.
No, it should make him stronger because it makes him realize that law applies to the law enforcer as well as those who are under the enforcement of the enforcer.
Well, you've taken nearly a perfect attitude toward the thing, which is almost unhuman, really. I mean, you've taken the attitude that Mr. Muhammad wants everyone to take if he chastises them. Which is fine. I mean, more power to you. But you see from our viewpoint that there's at least a chance, and this has happened with other members of the organization. They're suspended for some reason or other, that we talk to them, and they stand people up there, and they're, of course, cooperative. Why? Because they're bitter. Now, assuming you resume your duties, we would be, as you sure know, interested in having you help us out.
Help you out to do what? We're always helping out the government. We're cleaning up all of the crime that we help it out more than it helps itself. We're at least able to reform the people who have been made criminals by this society, by the corruption of this society. And any way to help it out other than that, I wouldn't even know how to begin.
Well, what we're interested in, basically, are the people who belong, the names, the members.
My telephone number is OL16320.
Okay. OL
16320.
Now, by this suggestion,
That's like telling you the sun shines in the east, from the east.
Well, no comment. And the teachings, plans, the programs.
No teaching is more public than ours, and I don't think you find anybody more blunt in stating it publicly than we do.
No, exactly.
I don't think you can go anywhere on this earth and find anybody who expresses their views on matters more candidly than we do.
I can only agree with you. No, that's right. You're right. You do. The main thing is there is a certain area of responsibility. This is getting into our angle of it. What we really want are the names of all those who belong. The names, who they are, the identification.
I don't even know them.
Do you keep no records?
It's not my job. I'm just a preacher.
Yeah, but somebody out there keeps the record.
I don't know who. I don't have any knowledge of those kind of things. With all these other responsibilities I've had, it'd be difficult for me to worry about names. Plus, you would insult my intelligence asking me for them. In fact, no, you would insult your own, because it would mean that your own intelligence isn't heavy enough to weigh me and know in advance what I'm going to say when you ask that question.
Well, without getting into migrant semantics there, you don't know until you ask.
That's not semantics. That again goes into your psychology.
We've had people, not this group in particular, other groups.
Oh, yes.
Who have been just as vociferous against what we're investigating as communists. Make a good case out of it. Communists for 20 years, they hate everything. Go interview them. You don't want to. Go anyway. So you go knock on the door. Where have you been? No, I want to tell you something. You never know till you ask. And that's happened so many times. Sometimes your word isn't convinced, but sometimes money brings out the information. I know intend to insult you here.
According to Dillon, what's his name, the Secretary of Treasury, this government's money is in such trouble until
you can still spend it.
Still, according to your government economists, the dollar itself is in such trouble. A person would be a fool to sell his soul for one of these decreasing dollars.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. You'd be a fool to sell your soul if the dollar was increasing. But this has nothing to do with selling your soul. I mean, if you look at it that way, okay.
Yeah,
but
depends on how you look at it.
Sure.
You insult my intelligence when not only they insult me, period. If they think I would tell them anything.
But it would be good, and I think in many ways it might be of some benefit to your organization. If in fact we can eliminate people.
There's no government agency that can ever expect any information out of me that's in any way detrimental to any religious group or black group, for that matter, in this country. No government agency.
That's fine.
Because they should use that same energy to go and find who bombed that church down there in Alabama.
Well,
and if these government agencies spend as much money and time and energy.
You know what somebody in the South is saying today? Few people would go up north, investigate the Muslims with the same energy you're trying to find this bomb here.
The Muslims don't bomb churches.
I know. They say that.
But still, the Muslims don't bomb churches. No, if we broke laws, they'd have us in jail tomorrow.